After age 60, the body begins to change in ways that aren't always obvious. And one of the most dangerous changes is something many people don't feel until it's too late: muscle loss. This process, called sarcopenia, doesn't just affect athletes or fitness fanatics, it affects everyday people. People who walk to the mailbox, who carry groceries, who reach up to open a cupboard. The truth is, you don't need to be lifting weights to protect your muscles, but you do need to stop eating the foods that are quietly breaking them down. In today's video from True Senior Wisdom, we'll uncover 5 foods that might seem harmless, but are actually sabotaging your strength, your balance, and your independence. Let's start with the first one, and why your morning toast might be costing you more than you think. Sign number 1: too many refined carbohydrates: white bread, white rice, pastries. Refined carbohydrates might seem innocent. They're comforting, familiar. They remind us of childhood breakfasts, of easy-to-digest meals, of things we've always eaten. But after 60, these foods take on a more dangerous role, not because they're inherently evil, but because our metabolism, muscle chemistry, and hormonal environment have changed. Let's break it down. What are refined carbs? Refined carbohydrates are grains that have been stripped of their bran, germ, and fiber. They digest quickly, spike your blood sugar rapidly, and leave you feeling tired, hungry, and undernourished. Examples include white bread, white rice, pastries, pancakes and waffles made from white flour, packaged breakfast cereals, cookies, crackers, and baked goods. In small amounts, these foods may not seem like a big deal, but when they form the base of your meals, especially without protein or fiber, the damage adds up. How refined carbs quietly destroy muscle? After 60, your body becomes less efficient at using insulin. This means glucose, sugar, stays in the bloodstream longer, causing inflammation. And here's what inflammation does: it slows protein synthesis, your body's ability to rebuild muscle tissue. It increases catabolism, the breakdown of muscle for energy. It raises cortisol levels, which is directly linked to muscle wasting in older adults. Worse, these carbs offer nothing back to your muscles. No amino acids to rebuild, no magnesium or B vitamins to help metabolize energy, no fiber to stabilize blood sugar swings. You eat them. Your insulin spikes, your blood sugar crashes, and your muscles, they get weaker without you even noticing. A 2020 study published in the journal Nutrients found that high refined carbohydrate intake was associated with higher risk of sarcopenia in older women. Another study showed that older adults who consumed a diet high in refined starch and sugar had significantly lower grip strength and reduced muscle mass. This is not just about aging, this is about how food interacts with your changing physiology. Why breakfast matters most. Breakfast sets the tone for your entire metabolic day. If you start your morning with white toast, jam, and coffee, your body enters a sugar spike, crash cycle. That crash can trigger your body to break down muscle proteins to stabilize glucose. But if you begin with protein and fiber, like eggs, steel-cut oats, or Greek yogurt with flaxseed, your body feels steady. Your insulin stays calm. Your muscle stays protected. Mary, 68, used to start her mornings with toast and tea. She didn't feel bad, just tired. Her doctor noticed she had lost 6 pounds of lean muscle in a year, even though her weight hadn't changed. When she swapped her breakfast to include 1 boiled egg, half an avocado, and 1 slice of sprouted bread with nut butter, her energy improved, and so did her balance and strength. Sometimes it's not about eating less, it's about eating better. Here are some simple swaps you can start using today. Instead of white toast, try whole grain or sprouted grain bread with 4+ gram protein per slice. Instead of sugary cereal, try plain steel-cut oats with chia seeds and cinnamon. Instead of pancakes with syrup, try cottage cheese and berries with a drizzle of honey. Instead of rice or pasta base, try quinoa, barley, or lentils with vegetables and olive oil. Your plate doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be purposeful. Refined carbs won't destroy your muscles overnight, but quietly, gradually, they change your chemistry, pulling energy from your strength instead of giving to it. Every meal is a chance to choose differently, to protect your balance, to walk steady, to live strong. Sign number 2, too much alcohol. A slow saboteur of strength. Alcohol may feel like a small indulgence, a glass of wine with dinner, a celebratory toast, or a cold beer on a hot day. But after age 60, alcohol affects the body differently and can directly accelerate muscle loss in ways people don't realize. Even moderate alcohol consumption has a more significant impact on older adults, especially when it becomes a frequent habit. How alcohol damages muscle tissue? The body needs protein, hydration, hormonal balance, and recovery to maintain muscle. Alcohol interferes with every one of those processes, inhibits protein synthesis. Alcohol reduces the body's ability to absorb and use amino acids, the building blocks of muscle, increases inflammation. Chronic inflammation from regular drinking weakens tissue and contributes to sarcopenia. Depletes nutrients. Alcohol depletes essential nutrients like B vitamins, magnesium, and zinc, all crucial for muscle repair and nervous system function. Disrupts sleep and hormones. Poor sleep affects growth hormone and testosterone levels, both of which are needed for muscle maintenance in seniors. The result? Muscles don't recover, don't rebuild, and slowly weaken. In a 2022 study published in the Journal of Gerontology, seniors who consumed alcohol regularly had lower lean muscle mass, weaker grip strength, slower walking speed, greater risk of falls and fractures. Even light to moderate drinking was linked to more rapid muscle decline when combined with poor nutrition and low physical activity. You don't have to binge drink to feel the effects. Even 1 to 2 drinks most nights of the week can delay muscle repair after activity, contribute to poor food choices. Alcohol increases sugar cravings, cause mild dehydration, which worsens muscle fatigue. Alcohol also interferes with muscle regulating hormones like insulin, IGF-1, and testosterone, making it harder to maintain muscle no matter how much protein you eat. John, 72, loved relaxing on Friday and Saturday nights with 2 glasses of wine. He also noticed his legs feeling weaker during walks, and he was more tired climbing stairs. When he paused his wine habit for 4 weeks, focusing instead on herbal teas and early sleep, his energy returned. His muscle tone improved, and he realized his weekend ritual was quietly slowing him down. Safer approaches to alcohol after 60. You don't have to give it up completely, but reconsider how and when you drink. Limit alcohol to 2-3 times per week, not daily. Drink with food, especially protein and healthy fats. Avoid alcohol on days when you exercise heavily. Hydrate well before and after. Even reducing your alcohol intake by 50% can make a noticeable difference in your strength, mood, and sleep. Healthy swaps for the same comfort. Red wine, hibiscus, or pomegranate iced tea, rich in antioxidants. Beer, sparkling mineral water with citrus and herbs. Cocktail, mocktail with cucumber mint and a splash of apple cider vinegar. These drinks don't impair muscle. In fact, many are anti-inflammatory, supporting the body instead of breaking it down. Alcohol isn't just about fun or celebration, it's a substance that affects your muscles, your memory, and your movement. After 60, you need every tool working in your favor. Choose what nourishes, choose what strengthens, and let your muscles thank you, quietly, powerfully, with every steady step you take. Sign number 3, artificial sweeteners and diet soda, a hidden enemy to muscle health. You've probably seen the labels sugar-free, 0 calories, diet-friendly. And if you're watching your blood sugar, weight, or calorie intake after 60, these products might feel like a safe solution. But there's a hidden cost, one that many seniors don't know about. Artificial sweeteners may silently weaken your muscles. How artificial sweeteners affect the body? Common sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin were designed to help people cut sugar. But in older adults, these chemicals can disrupt the very systems that support muscle strength. Here's how. Alter gut bacteria. Studies show artificial sweeteners disrupt the microbiome. A poor gut microbiome reduces nutrient absorption, especially B vitamins, magnesium, and amino acids critical for muscle repair. Trigger insulin resistance. Paradoxically, these sugar-free sweeteners can make your body less responsive to insulin, a hormone essential for muscle preservation and growth. Create false hunger signals. Artificial sweeteners can confuse your brain, making it harder to regulate hunger and fullness, often leading to oversnacking on low-protein, high-carb foods that break down muscle. Increase inflammation. Chronic exposure to artificial sweeteners has been linked to systemic inflammation, which slows muscle recovery and accelerates breakdown. Diet soda is one of the biggest culprits. It's consumed daily by millions of older adults trying to avoid sugar, but the effects go beyond the scale. In a 2014 study from the American Geriatric Society, seniors who consumed diet soda daily over 10 years experienced triple the abdominal fat gain compared to non drinkers, decreased lean muscle mass, higher markers of inflammation and insulin resistance. And remember, belly fat increases cortisol levels, a stress hormone that directly eats away at muscle. Evelyn, 67, was proud of switching from cola to diet soda, but over time she noticed more bloating, fatigue, and poor muscle tone, despite staying active. After removing diet drinks for just 30 days, she felt lighter, more energized, and her digestion improved dramatically. It wasn't about the calories, it was about chemistry. You don't have to give up sweetness, but choose more natural, supportive options. Stevia, in moderation, a plant based sweetener that doesn't spike insulin or gut bacteria. Fruit infused water, add lemon, berries, or cucumber to sparkling water. Cinnamon or vanilla, add to yogurt, oatmeal, or coffee to enhance flavor without chemicals. Raw honey or maple syrup in small amounts. Whole food sources of sweetness with antioxidant properties. Watch out for these healthy foods that often contain artificial sweeteners. Light or low fat yogurts, sugar free pudding, and gelatin. Protein bars and shakes labeled zero sugar. Sugar free gum and mints. Flavored electrolyte drinks. Always read the label, and remember, a short list of whole ingredients usually means a safer product. Just because something is sugar-free doesn't mean it's muscle-friendly. Your body deserves real nourishment, not just artificial sweetness. As you age, every food you eat is either feeding your strength or quietly draining it. Choose wisely and let the flavor of wellness be your sweetest reward. Sign number 4, processed meats, hidden salt, chemicals, and muscle damage. Cold cuts, bacon, sausages, hot dogs, ham. They're easy, convenient, often nostalgic. But after 60, these processed meats become more than just a quick lunch. They can be a silent attacker of your muscle health. Let's unpack why processed meats may be among the worst offenders for seniors aiming to stay strong and independent. What are processed meats? Processed meats are any meats preserved by smoking, curing, salting, or adding preservatives. This includes deli turkey, ham and roast beef, bacon, sausage, salami, hot dogs, and canned meats, packaged jerky or meat sticks. They often contain nitrates, MSG, preservatives, and very high levels of sodium. And while they may contain protein, the kind of protein your muscles need, isn't all that matters. How processed meats quietly erode muscle health? High sodium and fluid imbalance. Too much salt can cause dehydration at the cellular level. Dehydrated muscle cells can't contract properly and are more prone to fatigue and cramping. Increased inflammation. The preservatives and chemical additives in processed meats contribute to systemic inflammation, which accelerates muscle wasting. Poor amino acid profile. Compared to whole cuts of meat or plant proteins, processed meats often contain fewer essential amino acids needed for muscle maintenance. Raises risk of insulin resistance. Many processed meats are high in saturated fats and additives that impair insulin sensitivity, making it harder for muscles to absorb glucose and grow. Toxic chemical accumulation. Over time, exposure to nitrites and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons from smoked meats can damage cells and increase oxidative stress. A 2020 meta-analysis in the journal Age and Aging found that frequent consumption of processed meats was significantly associated with greater muscle decline, higher rates of frailty in older adults, increased markers of oxidative stress, and low-grade inflammation. This isn't just about heart health or cancer. It's directly tied to muscle quality and longevity. Carl, 74, lived alone and found deli meat easy. Turkey sandwich for lunch, hot dog for dinner. But he began experiencing more cramps, poor sleep, and weaker legs. After swapping to grilled chicken, legumes, and eggs for 2 weeks, he noticed better digestion, improved energy, and a surprising boost in strength during his morning walks. His doctor later confirmed lower inflammation markers in a routine blood test. Instead of reaching for deli meats or sausages, consider fresh roasted chicken or turkey, pre-cooked and sliced at home, boiled eggs or tuna with olive oil and herbs, lentils, chickpeas, or black beans with brown rice or quinoa, hummus and whole grain pita with chopped vegetables, tofu, tempeh, or grilled salmon. These foods provide whole, unprocessed proteins with fiber, antioxidants, and zero harmful additives. Worried about prep time? Here are fast swaps. Keep rotisserie chicken shredded in your fridge. Pre-boil a batch of eggs for snacks and sandwiches. Use canned beans or tuna in salads. Choose plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt for a high-protein meal base. Protein doesn't have to be complicated, it just has to be clean. After 60, your muscles don't just need protein, they need quality, supportive protein. Processed meats may seem convenient, but over time, their chemical baggage chips away at your body's strength. Choose whole, choose simple. Choose the fuel that honors the years your body has carried you. Sign number 5, skipping protein at breakfast. Starving your muscles before the day begins. Many seniors begin their day with a light bite, maybe toast and tea or coffee and a banana. It feels gentle, easy on the stomach, familiar. But this habit, skipping high quality protein in the morning, may be one of the most overlooked reasons older adults lose muscle faster than they should. Let's explore why breakfast protein isn't just helpful, it's essential after 60. Why morning protein matters more after 60. After age 60, your body becomes less responsive to dietary protein. This means that to maintain or build muscle, you actually need more protein per meal, not less. Research shows that older adults need about 25 to 30 grams of high quality protein at each main meal to effectively stimulate muscle protein synthesis, especially in the morning when your body has gone 8 to 12 hours without fuel. Skipping that window sets you up for muscle breakdown, blood sugar crashes, afternoon fatigue, poor workout, or walking performance. How skipping protein leads to muscle loss. If you start your day with only carbohydrates, toast, fruit, coffee, here's what happens. Your insulin rises quickly. Your blood sugar crashes within hours. Your body, needing stable energy, starts breaking down lean tissue, aka muscle, to maintain glucose levels. This repeated pattern trains your body to lose muscle, store fat, and feel tired. Worse, it delays your body's muscle building signal until lunch, often too late to recover the loss. Linda, 66, enjoyed her quiet mornings: black coffee, a small banana, then a walk. But by 11 a.m., she felt lightheaded and tired. Her doctor checked her muscle mass. It had decreased 7% in 2 years. After changing her breakfast to include 2 scrambled eggs, a slice of sprouted toast with almond butter, and a few berries, her energy stabilized, and her muscle scan a year later showed an increase in lean mass. Total daily protein matters, but timing is just as crucial. Eating a large protein dinner and skipping protein at breakfast is like watering a plant once at sunset and expecting it to grow strong in the morning. Your muscles need nutrients when you start moving, not hours later. Here are some protein-rich options that are easy to digest and prepare. 2 boiled or scrambled eggs equals 12 grams protein. 3/4 cup Greek yogurt equals 15 grams protein. Half cup cottage cheese, 14 grams protein. 1 scoop plant-based protein powder in smoothie equals 15 to 20 grams. Nut butter, 2 tablespoons on toast equals 6 to 8 grams. Tofu scramble equals 10 to 15 grams per portion. Chia seed pudding with almond milk equals 10 grams on goal. Combine 2 to 3 sources to reach 25 to 30 grams of protein in the first meal of the day. If you're not hungry in the morning, drink a small protein smoothie instead of eating solid food. Split breakfast into 2 parts, one at 7 a.m., one at 9 a.m. Begin with savory flavors, eggs, avocado, to avoid sugar spikes. It's not about eating more, it's about eating better. Skipping protein in the morning is like skipping the foundation of your day. It might not hurt today or tomorrow, but over time, your muscles will know. And when you lose muscle, you lose balance. You lose strength. You lose the freedom to move as you wish. Don't let that happen. Give your body what it truly needs: support, strength, and the nourishment it quietly asks for before the day even begins. Muscle loss after 60 doesn't happen in a loud, dramatic way. It happens quietly, in the moments we skip protein, overdo sugar, or rely on processed comfort foods without noticing the cost. But here's the good news: you can start reversing that today. Your meals are more than fuel, they're messages. They tell your body whether to protect your strength or to let it slip away, whether to build resilience or allow decline. And every small change, a scoop of Greek yogurt, a swap from white rice to lentils, a choice to skip that second drink, is not just dietary shift. It's a declaration. Your body is worth the care. Your strength is worth the effort. I choose to keep moving. I choose to stay strong. I choose to age with vitality, not just survival. No matter where you're starting from, it's never too late to make choices your muscles will thank you for. You deserve a body that supports your freedom. You deserve energy that doesn't fade by midday. You deserve to feel capable, confident, and cared for, starting from the inside out. If this video helped you see your meals in a new light, please give it a thumbs up. It helps our content reach more people just like you. What's one food you'll swap out or one you'll add after watching this? Share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to True Senior Wisdom for more healing tips, balanced insight, and powerful health lessons made for people over 60. Your body is listening. Your strength is waiting. Let's reclaim it together.